Good afternoon, everyone.
Come.
Respected faculty, I'm sorry, we have two atypical optic neuritis, right one after the other. Mine is a case of a drug-induced optic neuritis, which is rituximab-induced optic neuritis. So in our case, we had a patient who is a known case of mantle cell lymphoma, and he had orbital non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, which is mantle cell lymphoma, and he was on treatment with the standard therapy, which is R-CHOP, rituximab, cyclophosphamide, doxorubicin, vincristine, and prednisolone. But this patient, he had orbital symptoms since he was a known case of non-Hodgkin's lymphoma since February 22, and since the beginning of 2023, he had swelling in both of the orbits. The picture on your left, and he was on rituximab therapy, and during a cycle of which he had exacerbation of symptoms, which is increase in periorbital swelling and diminution of vision, with the complaints of which he presented to us in the month of December 23. And this was noticed right after his second cycle of IV rituximab. So on presentation, the patient had a picture like this, which is the picture to your right. So on presentation, the visual acuity of the patient in the right eye had only 1/60 vision. In the left eye, there was no perception of light. There was severe restriction of extraocular movements. The intraocular pressure was raised as well in both the eyes. There was a firm swelling in the orbital region, and there was REPD, presence of REPD in the left eye. And the fundus picture, the discs appeared normal bilaterally, but in the left eye, we were suspecting that the patient might have CRAO, and together with the orbital picture, we were suspecting that the patient might have an orbital compartment syndrome as well as optic neuritis, because we ran the color vision of the patient was significantly affected, and as was the contrast sensitivity, and we got a EVR done as well. On MRI, we found that there were enhancement along the optic nerves, along with the soft tissue enhancement and the sign for raised intraorbital pressure, which is the tenting of the globes, which is seen in this particular scan. So we started IV methylprednisolone for the patient, 1 gram for 3 days, and we saw a dramatic response. The patient's sadly, the visual acuity in the left eye, it did not improve, but in the right eye, the patient slowly gained vision, and he gained up to 6/24 in the right eye. The pressure were also, intraocular pressures were also normal in the follow-up period. The patient gained full and free periocular movements. So, some background to this, the flare-up of orbital inflammation following rituximab therapy has been reported in several autoimmune conditions and as well as malignant conditions like the antiphospholipid syndrome, Graves, even in neuromyelitis optica, where rituximab is routinely given, it can cause a flare-up of the orbital inflammation. So the normal, even in this patient, rituximab therapy was combined with intravenous hydrocortisone, but what we like to argue is that that cover might not be enough to safeguard the patient from the flare-up of inflammation. So the stronger, higher potency steroids, such as IV methylprednisolone and a higher dose, are warranted in patients, especially those which we know have a greater involvement of the orbit, or patients which have peri-optic nerve involvement. So a close follow-up of patients on IV rituximab is warranted. The follow-up is warranted, and the need for IV methylprednisolone should be considered in all patients. Thank you.
Yes.
So, thank you, Dr. Saloni, for that well-documented case. I would love, were you sure that it was rituximab only that was the culprit of optic neuritis in this case? Because as you also told us in the presentation, and we very well know that it is sometimes the last resort we turn to in patients with neuromyelitis optica. So, are you pretty sure was enough investigation done why optic neuritis is not said to be a part of that autoimmune disease which the patient already had?
Right, ma'am. Ma'am, the previous pictures I showed, like the patient was a known case of non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, and he had orbital involvement since the starting of the year, like in January 2023. And his flare-up began in November, and rituximab was started in response to that. So, on initiation of the therapy with IV rituximab, there was a flare-up of both the orbital disease as well as diminution of vision, which was so drastic, and coupled with our MRI findings, we made a provisional diagnosis
So
of
basically, it was not just optic neuritis which happened, it was also a flare up of the orbital
Orbital,
involvement
right.
of your Hodgkin's lymphoma that had occurred, right?
Absolutely.
Non Hodgkin's lymphoma. So, was any biopsy done in this patient before starting the treatment?
Yes, ma'am. We actually did a biopsy before, in November, the patient underwent biopsy of the orbital mass, and it was positive for lymphoma.
And what about the markers? Was it CD20 positive? Because rituximab is something which is
Right.
going to act only on CD20 cells. It's a monoclonal antibody.
Right, ma'am. Actually, the tumor was positive only for cyclin D1 and the markers which are specific for DLBCL. The specific test for CD20 was not actually done. But as a last resort, patient was given rituximab.
Okay.
Okay, good.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.